I grew up in a very small town in West Virginia in a trailer down by the river, and it sounds like a sad story or something like that, but truth be told, I had a loving mother and father, grandparents. My family was amazing. It was definitely a humble beginning and taught me a lot about growing up and hard work. I remember being baptized August 28th, 1988, and I know I was saved at a young age and that Jesus was my savior. My father was typically my coach. He was really hard on me, which is a good thing, pushed me to be on the all-star team, whether it was baseball, basketball, being best all around. And my mother had her hand in it just as well, very competitive lady, and she also inspired me to do the best I could. Ended up becoming the student body president of my 9th grade class, straight A's, all of that. During my high school years, my mom ended up leaving and my parents got divorced. I didn't fully understand why my parents were separating. I knew something was going on, but when my mom left and I saw my dad cry for the first time, I saw my dad alone for the first time. Honestly, I felt abandoned, I felt alone. I felt like God had left the situation. Once I got to college, I started drinking, seeking the attention lost, I think, a lot through the divorce from mom and dad to trying to be the popular guy, trying to be the cool guy, and it just made me more and more empty. After leaving West Virginia, my goal was to never go back. So what I wanted to do was go out, be successful, and let that soothe and kind of be the revenge to avenge my heart that was broken. So while in ROTC, I was a junior and they brought everybody out and said someone was out of uniform and they threw me a flight suit and said, "You're gonna be a pilot." Went to pilot training clueless, and throughout pilot training, I'd get into the Air Force, become a pilot. First thing I do is go buy a motorcycle, you know, trying to be the Top Gun, trying to live that life, and the drinking, the going out, all of that stuff was consistent of what I thought it should be. And once again, left me empty inside. Everybody on social media and everyone in my life thought, man, he's really doing it. He's made it in his life and he's an inspiration. But on the inside, I was barely holding on to the tail of my relationship with God and my family and having confidence in myself. At this point, my relationship with God was a one-way relationship. It was always retroactive. It was always going after God's grace when I made a mistake. I didn't know who I was supposed to be. I was living the Air Force lifestyle. I was trying to be the pilot guy. On the inside, I was alone, just like I was in my high school years. In about 2009, 2010 time frame, whenever I've been married for 2 years to my beautiful wife, and I come home one day and the door's ajar and I find her in the bathroom, and I could tell that she was sick. I could tell something was going on. And that was the moment after 2 years of marriage I found out that she had been struggling with an eating disorder for 8 years. And at that point, I was helpless because she was helpless, and I couldn't do anything to fix it. The pilot guy couldn't fix it. My persona, my being able to fly whatever to a safe landing, I couldn't fly this one to a safe landing on my own, and I needed help. I just simply got on my knees and I was like, God, I need you to do something here. I promise you, if you can do anything here, I'll dedicate the rest of my life to you, no matter what it looks like. And I'll know I'll make mistakes, but I'm never gonna be out of the fight. I'm always gonna believe in you, and I'm always gonna proclaim your name in my life if you can just help me with this one thing. And I'd like to say we walked out of there and everything had changed. But it didn't, you know. It was a seed, it was a thought, it was something that we nurtured. I got involved with the church, got sent to this conference by one of the local pastors. And during that conference, Priscilla Shirer shared this story. And her message was supposed to be about something else, but she shared this story about eating disorders and God healing eating disorders, and it melted me and it gave me hope in a new way. And all the speakers were speaking directly to me, and God used that conference to melt my heart, rededicate my life. Now, God is not going to be just my savior, but he's going to be the Lord of my life. Finally, that void has been filled. The gap has been filled. My wife saw the change. I stopped cursing. I stopped drinking. I stopped doing all these things that were on the outside behaviors. And she saw that and she was like, okay, he's up to something. One day she walked into the living room and she got down on one knee and put her hand on my knee and said, you know, baby, I want what you got. I want that grace, that freedom that I see in your eyes, and I want that too. And that was the prayer that was answered with her in my arms that day. And leaving there, she was able to have power over that disorder. Enough power, as a matter of fact, over the next 4 years, 8 months, the eating disorder's gone. To go from where I was, broken, in southern West Virginia with not much hope at all, to be able to live in this home today, to have the family restored, to have God restore and redeem so many things in my life, including my purpose, and to be made whole. I feel like I can't keep that in, and I got to share it through the world. I want to share the gift of freedom and of purpose and what God will do to your life if you listen to the people that He wants to use in your life to speak to you of your purpose and vector you to where He wants you to be in life. And I feel like I'm commissioned. I feel like it's much more than flying airplanes, being an officer. I feel like it's a privilege to know and be cognizant of what God has done in my life. Because once you witness all that God will do with a broken person, you can't help but want to share that with people and give this gift of freedom of grace that only Jesus can give.